There are consequences for those choices.
Mm-hmm.
So I can sit here and say, well, it's not about the fans. But the truth of the matter is the way that NIL money works, it's not from ESPN. It's not from Adidas. It's not from your sponsors. It's from you going to your booster fans and saying, hey, I need money to pay Brendan Armstrong. Hey, I need money to pay Peyton Wilson. Hey, I need money to pay Jarkel Joyner in basketball, right? Or Quavion Smith in basketball. So now you have hamstrung the collective who is going to go to the fans and say, hey, we need money for MJ Morris. And then those people are going to go, why? So he won't play against Carolina? So he'll just watch us lose to Wake Forest?
Well, hold on. Now, hold on a second now.
So that's the choice that he's made.
Yeah.
And I don't know his dad, obviously. I don't even really know him. But you can't make a choice and think, well, there's going to be no consequences for it.
Right. So the dad...
I'm just going to stay here for the next 3 years and make $1.5 million. That's not how it works.
The dad talked to our old colleague, Brian Murphy, and reading the quotes that Murphy got from the dad cracked me up because he's like, nobody said I'm paraphrasing now, but like, nobody said he was transferring. Buddy, like... You don't have to say it explicitly. Right. We can kind of piece things together. Kimberly Morris, who's MJ Morris's mom. So back on November 1st, she goes scripture, Isaiah 54:17. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Nope, shame on you and only you. You took advantage of my giving nature and what you thought were unlimited second chances. And even worse, tried to make me feel bad about it, but I won't feel bad about it. And I will not change who I am, but I will change where you fit in my life. What a shame for you. I don't have it in front of me, but I think there was a time in which Pack Pride seemed to piss off.
It was the Duke game where after the Duke game, they had written something about players who needed to step up. And one of them was MJ Morris.
Yes.
She quote tweeted and was like, he's never had any reps. He was supposed to redshirt this and that. So basically just shit. Be happy he's playing.
There is that. Hey man, he played 4 games and got you to bowl eligibility.
Shit, I mean, we're really happy that he won 3 games. He helped you win 3 games.
Okay, it was after the fact. This was at 12:37 p.m. yesterday. When they go low, we go high. So many have opinions, but few have all the information.
I'm going to answer the question for you, the original question.
So let's get to that question.
Why the parents came out and kind of said what they said or what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're trying to turn this around on NC State so that when he does leave, it becomes, we'll see. We told you that day that we were coming back and then this was the plan all along.
They think they're slick with the messaging. They're not.
They're not.
They're not. No, the parents are not slick with the messaging. And I had a couple fans, and again, I'm not bringing up any individual tweets or emails that I received or comments on YouTube because this was from more than enough people.
It was a lot, and you kind of had to anticipate that it was going to be a lot.
No, but
people feel this kind of stuff deep, and I
get
get that part of it, and from their side too.
No,
but everybody needed to get in front of this when they added Brennan Armstrong.
Okay, we'll get to that.
It was never explained when Brennan Armstrong was brought in.
So this gets to your point about the messaging. We got a couple of responses saying, "Hey man, he could be hurt."
No, he's not.
He's not hurt.
I'm not even sure he was hurt last year.
If he was,
to be perfectly honest,
that's fine. I've heard some of that speculation as well. If he was hurt, then Monday's press availability with Dave Doran lays out the week going into Wake Forest, then Virginia Tech, and then UNC. Hey man, he took a shot. He's not at 100%. His eligibility and redshirt playing is back on the table. And this is why we brought Brennan Armstrong here.
Yeah.
So there's mismessaging number one, which tells me the coaching staff was not anticipating this. Because there's no like-for-like comparison here.
No, okay, I'll give you some inside information here. There were 23rd hour conversations that happened here.
Okay.
Between the dad and the collective.
Makes sense.
Okay. Which makes sense because the coaching staff knew about this weeks in advance.
Mm-hmm.
The collective knew about this weeks in advance. But the word that was used with me was shock.
Yeah.
That how can we, NC State, I'm talking from the NC State point of view, how can we beat Clemson in Miami? Clemson, a team we almost never beat. Miami, literally the last team still in the ACC that they've never beaten.
Mm-hmm.
How can you go through these games, even if you weren't great in either game? How could you be on a team that beats Clemson and Miami?
And is feeling it right now.
And by the way, by the way, with 2 league losses until Louisville beats Virginia on Thursday, is still technically alive to make the ACC championship game.
Fair. That's fair.
Okay, so this is the state point of view. Wait, now you're gonna do what?
Yeah,
you're gonna wait, what?
So what's the
and
thought?
Again, if you want to leave, if you want to be Devin Leary, I think ultimately, to get this to a bigger part of the conversation. Okay, so I think they were in. I think the state side was like, okay, they're telling us this, but we don't believe it. We just beat Clemson. We just beat Miami. We're 6-3. We have 2 great wins. We've got something going here. You know,
that's why I said what I said yesterday.
Plus, he's our quarterback of the current, of the present, and the future. We're gonna ride this thing. Let's go.
Yeah.
And I think they had conversations up until that last moment. Yes, up until the last moment yesterday when they finally pulled the trigger and said no to her point about fool me once, this and that. They made the decision, and I think that at that point you can't go back to Monday, right, and change the messaging, because I'm not sure they really believed that this was going to happen.
Why would they?
And like you and I and many people who are having this very similar reaction, they're going, okay, fine, you're sitting out. Good luck at Missouri. Good luck at Coastal Carolina. Good luck at who's ever going to pay you, because you can't stay here and expect to get paid.
Okay, so
that's not how it works.
So which gets to, you bring up Devin Leary.
Yeah, and
there's Sam Hartman and
Brennan Armstrong.
Right? I get all that stuff, but I think we have to stop looking at, well, when am I getting my payday? Is it your last year of eligibility?
No, I don't know, Joe. I don't think we have to stop. I think we have to start. Drake May was the freaking exception, by the way.
Yes.
His whole family went to Carolina, other than the one brother who won a national title at Florida in baseball. All right. So that was never a real danger. Also, Drake May is about to make $45 million in the NFL in 4 months.
Yeah.
So he doesn't need to go play for Alabama for even $5 million or whatever the ridiculous offer was allegedly. Okay.
Yeah.
Riley Leonard is the one you should be looking at right now. And we talked to Riley Leonard about this at the kickoff. And remember, he said, nobody offered me twice.
Right.
Because I told you this the night that Carolina and Duke played last year. And I went to the football game and I was super impressed with Drake May. And I said, that ain't the one you need to be worried about. Riley Leonard made himself some money last night. And I bet you Duke paid him this offseason, as they should have in the NIL world.
As they should.
We have to start thinking about Sam Hartman. We have to start thinking like Devin Leary in this sense. Okay. There's never been a true minor league for football where you can actually above the table make money.
Right.
Devin Leary is making $40,000 a month at Kentucky. Sam Hartman, I would imagine, as the number 1 quarterback on the market, is at least making $500,000.
Sure.
Brennan Armstrong is making more than $200,000 this year to play football for NC State. So if you're MJ Morris, you're sitting here going, you know what? Maybe I won't make the NFL, but that's okay, because I can make 200, 500, whatever, 100,000, maybe even $1 million by my last year if I'm good enough and Georgia wants to bring me home. Isn't that more money than you'll see in our lifetimes?
I get that part.
That's the new reality.
No. We're on the same page when it comes to that. What I think you and I differ is the clock. Okay. The clock.
Well, his clock's different because he's 5 to play 4. He doesn't have a pandemic year.
I understand that. But if you are good enough, you'll be either taken care of by your school the following
Riley
season.
Leonard.
All right.
Yeah.
Or if they can't come to the table with that money, you will then make that money somewhere else with the way the transfer portal works today.
I think in the Morris family's head, by having the extra year, they now have 3 paydays instead of 2.
But here's my question. What's the payday gonna be when you essentially opt out of the rest of the season in the most crucial part of the year for a team that's trying to get to go from what looked like the nadir of a year for year 11 Dave Dorn to, oh shit, you might have 8 wins when it's all said and done.
Maybe even more.
And you go to the table and say, hey man, this is you before I started playing, and this is you after I started playing. Hey, pack of wolves, let's get this money. And if you don't, well, then I go somewhere else with what I did. So that's where I talk about. That's the clock that I'm talking about.
That's logical. It's a complete miscalculation by his family.